Boker Tov. It's 5:30 in the morning in Spot, Israel. We're in the middle of another wave of corona. I've heard several people, even my age, have caught the virus. I don't know if they've been vaccinated or not vaccinated. They say that people that have been vaccinated with the third booster, they don't get it. But nevertheless, I hear that there are those that are vaccinated that do get it. So we have to live with this. I don't know exactly what's going on. We're not in a lockdown. Just partially, there have certain restrictions that have been placed upon us. God should help us, and we should come through it. I wanted to devote this video lecture, to my story, how I came to what I've come to be the one to reveal the universal faith on the internet. Here in Israel, we don't talk about the universal faith because it's very controversial, and I'd rather not get involved in controversies. But on the internet, I've placed my websites there for quite a few years now, and I don't have any problems. I don't know if people have seen my websites or not. I write quite often. Now in English, I used to write in the communal news until it closed down, articles about the universal faith. And in Hebrew, I write Chidushei Torah insights into the Zohar, because in the Zohar is revealed the universal faith. And I sometimes have a small excerpt from what I've written, and I hand it out in the city here in Spot or wherever I go. Universal faith was revealed in the Zohar, which was an esoteric Judaism. The author of the Zohar is attributed to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but it seems likely that there was a great Torah scholar who became enlightened in the light of the Messiah, and he revealed the light of the Messiah to the Jewish people through the Zohar. The light of the Messiah is not something new to the Jewish people. Every day, the Jewish people pray 3 times a day that the Messiah should come. But the purpose of the Messiah in Judaism, Jewish law, which is written by Rambam, who is the greatest of scribes of Jewish law. He wrote a book called Mishnah Torah. In it is all the aspects of the oral Torah, Jewish law, in his book. That's everything that's included in Jewish law in the Talmud. He wrote these laws in his work called Mishnah Torah. Mishnah Torah, at the end of Mishnah Torah, is even a description of what the Jewish people are waiting for at the end of time, as they pray 3 times a day for the Messiah. In short, there'll come a man who is learned in the Torah, and this man will fight for Judaism. He will spread Judaism throughout the people, bring them to the awareness that they're Jews and they have a purpose as being Jews. And he will gather together Jewish people, fight for Judaism, and bring them to Israel and build for them the Holy Temple. Afterwards, according to Jewish law, the Jewish people then will be ready to receive the secrets of the Torah that are written in the Zohar and the Kabbalah. It's according to Jewish law, only until the Jerusalem is rebuilt in this world can be revealed the holy secrets of the Torah, which are the secrets of the worlds above. Nevertheless, these secrets have been revealed in the Zohar, in these esoteric Sikh teachings. They are found in the written Torah, but the Jewish people look towards the law itself for guidance and do not generally delve into the secrets of the Torah, but are more interested in building a Jewish home and bringing Jewish souls into the world, living according to the Torah, according to the ethics of Sinai, modestly, and staying away from worldliness being freedom, free sex, and maintaining family purity, the memory of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that we have to preserve the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the story of how the Jewish people came from Abraham and then to Isaac and then to Jacob. Jacob had 12 children, and his 12 children went down into Egypt because of a famine, and they settled in Egypt. 70 souls, it says. It's all symbolic. It all represents spiritual unities. 12, we know the 12 months of the year, and 70 represents a very holy light of spirituality. The three fathers represent a very high, holy light of a unity of three, which is explained in the Zohar. All of Jewish life, which follows according to the Torah, has in it deep and esoteric secrets. Even if we don't know these secrets, we reveal the essence of spirituality, which is in in action, which are called the positive mitzvot, the positive commandments, like Shabbat, the seventh day. Shabbat represents the seventh day, according to the explanation that God rested on the seventh day, in its simple meaning. But the seventh day is the highest spiritual unity of God that can be revealed on earth. The other mitzvot, tefillin, the phylacteries we put on. There's a hand tefillin, arm tefillin, and a head tefillin. The arm tefillin is four sections of the Torah in one parchment, and the head tefillin are these four levels of Torah divided into four parchments. There's also a deep spiritual secret. There's a shin, letter shin with three, a unity of three on the head tefillin, and four, a unity of four on the head tefillin, a shin of four lines. Sukkahs, there is the mitzvah of sukkah, that is to eat in a sukkah. Sukkah represents on top is the skak, these bamboos that are placed on top, which are considered to be pure, and they are cannot become impure. And this represents the secrets of God in heaven. And within the lulav, within the sukkah, there are four parts to from the earth. That is a lulav, a palm branch, leaves, three hadassim, 3 leaves, and arabos, 2 leaves. They put them together with the fruit called the esrog, and this is a unity of God within the world. Under the heavens, which is the skak above, where these secrets are revealed in the afterlife. And through the Zohar, we get a small picture of what will be revealed in the afterlife. This is Torah Hasidut. This is the Torah that has been revealed through the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, he had a dream, and he went up to heaven in the dream, and he was greeted by the Mashiach, the Messiah, and he asked the Messiah, what about it? When are you coming? It's already very difficult to wait anymore. Many Jews are assimilating. The Messiah gave him an instruction. Now is the time to spread the esoteric teachings of the Torah, the unities of God that you know. So he gave the Baal Shem Tov permission to spread the teachings of the Zohar, which talk about the unity of God, the unity of the eternal heaven with the earth. Even before the Baal Shem Tov, in Tzfat were Kabbalists. The first of the Kabbalists was Rabbi Moses Ben Cordovero, the Ramak. He translated portions of the Zohar, and he had students there. One is Shlomo Alkabetz, who wrote the song that we sing to receive the Sabbath, to include the two sides, right and left, with God together, which is basically a very, very something new to Judaism, to consider a unity of right, left, and center. Judaism is basically Orthodox religion. In Orthodox religion, there is only the belief in the one God that we cannot know and we cannot understand, while in the Kabbalah, God is called unity, mercy, which is mercy, actually. Mercy includes in it three, that is, right, left, and center, and it's called Tiferes. And Orthodox religion is described in the Kabbalah as the attribute of kingship. The attribute of kingship is revealed on the first day of creation, which is called the Day of One. In this day is included the two lights, but they are revealed as one light. Kabbalah reveals them as three lights. This is on the third day of creation. And this revelation of three lights comes through the beginning of this revelation of three lights starts with Mount Sinai and the biblical nation of Israel, where there was only one light, one religion, one God, and it was not important to know God as a unity of opposites. Now I'll begin my story. I had very difficult times. I grew up in a Jewish home, secular, traditional Jewish home, with a Jewish identity. I went to Talmud Torah, and at first I went to public school in the morning. In the afternoon, we went to what's called Talmud Torah classes until we were bar mitzvah. After we became bar mitzvah, we sort of lost our connection with Judaism. Maybe we only went to the synagogue on the holy days, and my parents were not keeping the Sabbath only traditionally. And slowly but surely, the interaction with the world and the worldliness, I got involved in worldliness, and while being educated and guided by my parents to build a livelihood through scholarship, going to college and getting a good job, this was what was emphasized by my parents, not without emphasis on religion, but emphasis on making a living. And I went to college. I was a very good student. I didn't really have any girlfriends until I reached college. I went to a special boys' school, high school, but I wanted to meet girls. The world allows us to meet girls, even to sleep with them, and it advises the boys to watch out and to make sure they protect themselves from getting these girls pregnant. And the girls are advised how to prevent themselves from being pregnant. From sex comes drugs. And then I became involved in drugs in the 1960s, which started with marijuana, hashish, sedatives. Then it went into psychedelics, and I got a little off the way of materialism when I took these psychedelics, and I started thinking about spirituality. And when I started thinking about spirituality, I then looked into various ways of spirituality in the world. That is, through Eastern mysticism and through Judaism, Hasidism. It was all in my mind to understand what's going on in religion. I was exposed to the universal faith when I read the book I Thou, written by the philosopher Martin Buber. He said that all the religions come one from the other because in Judaism there was something missing, and this was revealed in Christianity. And we know in Judaism the Messiah has not yet come. In Christianity, then they have religion which worships the Messiah. And then Islam came after that, has also its purpose according to the Martin Buber. The philosophy of Martin Buber is similar to the philosophy of Baha'i, which is there was a prophet in Accra during the Ottoman Empire. Accra today is called Akko, city of Akko in Israel. And this prophet said just what Martin Buber was saying, that there's the universal faith that's interfaith, and there is also the importance of religion. Two different worlds: interfaith, universal faith, and religion. Each specific religion, it might be Judaism, it might be Christianity, it might be Islam. They are all theocracies. The universal faith is spiritual freedom, and in Orthodox religion, there is only freedom. The only freedom is through studying the scriptures and following the commandments. Today I read in the Zohar, because this is the month of Elul, and we are accustomed to read the Tikkun Zohar, which is the deepest of all sections of the Zohar. It's written on the first passage of the Torah. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it's 70 different portions describing the meaning of that passage. And then it says, just what I said, there no freedom except through studying the Torah. And you can study the Torah day and night. I know people here in Israel, amazing people. They know every aspect of Jewish law. The whole Talmud, they know every aspect of the Talmud, every aspect of Jewish law. They've studied it from when they were children, and they are amazing people. They are Torah scholars that can talk and for hours and hours reveal to you what the deepest and most important parts of Jewish law, the Talmud. The Talmud is considered the most important part of Judaism, to study. It includes in it everything. But it does not reveal the secret of the Messiah. The secret of the Messiah is revealed in the Zohar, not in the Talmud. Because the Zohar says, in the merit of the Zohar will be revealed that the redemption will come to redemption. And we see the redemption has not yet come. What redemption is that Judaism has to offer? To study the Torah day and night. Through studying the Torah day and night, you become a free person. But the Zohar says something interesting. It says you could also be a free person through saying just Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Here is the Lord is the God, the Lord is one, saying it 2 times a day. What is it talking about there? Because that passage is called the eternal unity. Each passage is 25 letters, and together it's 50. And in these 2 passages is revealed the 50th gate, which is the gate of spiritual freedom. But it doesn't tell you how to reach to that level. But it says there, those that have found spiritual freedom, they have found the whole Torah. They're not Torah scholars. They're free souls connected to God through the universal faith. Shema Yisrael is the universal faith. But the word Shema, which means hear, is the oral Torah. That is Jewish law. The rest of the Shema is the revelation of the universal faith, which includes in it 2 names of God. But there are 2 sides to the universal faith, and they're connected by God. There is the Jewish faith and world faith. And the last word of the Shema Yisrael is Echad, one. They are one. That's in the universal faith. That's in the supernal unity. But in religion, there is only revealed Shema. That is simple faith without knowledge. Knowledge is the unity of 2 opposites, male and female. Religion is the aspect of male, and female is the left side, which is suppressed. But that's the way it has to be. When you're raising a family, the father is the breadwinner, and the mother is the one in the house giving love to her children and feeding the children. That's family life. Family life, there is male and female are 2 levels. But in the esoteric Judaism, in the Zohar, they are 1. That is, they are not, both are free. The male is free and the woman is free. They are free. Each souls They have an individual connection to God, a spiritual healing between them, and they follow Jewish law in order to be able to raise a family. Because in the house there has to be only one voice, and that voice is the voice of the Torah, that is the oral Torah. The secrets of the Torah are for those that fear God and for those that have the freedom to study them, and it's usually coming later in a person's life. But very often, people don't reach to that level, and that's why the Baal Shem Tov was told by the Messiah, "We can't wait till you get older," because we see that people don't actually reach that level anyway. The Arizal, the famous scholar of Kabbalist in Sfat, he said, "We can't wait anymore. People will not get to that level unless we make it of equal importance. That is, the study of the law and the study of the Zohar and the secrets of the Torah." One day, I had taken a mushrooms. Someone gave me some mushrooms. Mushrooms are a psychedelic tablet. And I was living in Brooklyn, and I went on my bike. I was riding on the bike, and I met a Lubavitcher Hasid. I had not had any real connection with Hasidim, only with an Orthodox rabbi and some Orthodox people that were in my neighborhood. And it was Friday, very close to the Sabbath. I said hello to him. "Hi, I know you. I am Jewish, and I'm very happy to meet you." And I didn't know that he was a missionary from Lubavitch, because Lubavitch is a missionary organization. And he told me, "Come with me." And he brought me over to his grandfather's house. The grandfather was the chief rabbi of a school which was filled with hippies who had decided they wanted to study Judaism in Crown Heights. He's one of the elders of the community of Crown Heights, Rabbi Jacobson. I saw there they were cutting their nails before Shabbos, and he put tefillin on me. And then he said, "Come with me, leave your bike here." And I walked with him. I was tripping. And I walked with him to about a 5-minute walk to the center of Lubavitch Hasidism, 770 Eastern Parkway. And he's told me, "Stand here." And then I saw the Lubavitcher Rebbe coming down to pray. This was the first time I had ever seen him. He was a distinguished-looking person carrying a Siddur, a prayer book. I saw him as a scholar, Torah scholar, and he impressed me for his scholarship. I went home. I started thinking more about Sabbath, and maybe I could be able to begin to give respect to the Sabbath on Fridays and Saturday. I was living alone then. I had just had a affair with a shikser who I had met. She had been. I had met her. She had wandered into our fraternity, And I tried to help her. She was pregnant. She had a child. Then we separated. It wasn't my child. She was pregnant when I met her. And I started reading about Judaism and wanted to know more about Judaism. At the same time, I had a lot of friends that we were hippies, and we were in the world. Many of us were interested in spirituality. So at the same time, there was traveling in America a guru, Guru Janardhan. And this is 770 Eastern Parkway, where I saw the Lubavitch Rebbe the first time. He was traveling, and I had a little bit studied Eastern mysticism. Remember, I had read books from Martin Buber, and I was a universal Jew. I didn't feel that Judaism was the only spirituality that had something to offer me. Orthodox Judaism says that Judaism is the only spirituality, and that other spiritualities are idolatry. Christianity is idolatry. Also, Buddhism is idolatry. Only Islam is not idolatry because they don't have any idols. I went to him, and many of my friends went to him, and he lifted us up and revealed to us that there is spiritual freedom, which is different from religion. At the same time, I visited occasionally the Lubavitch school for missionary school in Crown Heights, and I studied there, met the people there, but I wasn't yet ready to accept Judaism. I still had the connection with this guru, and you cannot be connected to a guru and also be connected to Judaism. I went to India in the summer. I had been doing some substitute teaching in New York. I had already finished my bachelor's degree. I had a teacher's license, and I went to India, and I saw what the ashram was like. I met the guru there in his hometown in Lakshmanjula. He was a very, very high person. And there were several people there. I went with my friend, and it was hard for me to continue to study there. I wanted to travel a little bit. I traveled to Kashmir, and over there I caught typhoid fever. I almost died. I was near death. The doctors told me I had horrors of suffering high fevers with horrors. I felt I had maybe sinned because I went to this guru. It was a sin, and I'm being punished by God because I went away from over there. They have idols there. They have their masters. There are certain conflicts between Judaism and Buddhism and yoga and also Christianity. They're not friendly, the two sides, that's for sure. So I survived it. And I came back to America. I went to rehabilitation in a hospital there. The doctors didn't think I could ever come out of the trauma. But I did come out of the trauma, and I decided on my own, I'm going to now try to know more about Judaism. I really wasn't interested in going back to India. I had experienced enough of the spirituality of yoga. Let me delve into the secrets of God that are offered in Lubavitch Hasidism. The rabbi accepted me in this school. Before I went to India, I wrote the Rebbe, this missionary of the Rebbe brought me to the office. He said, ask the Rebbe if you should go to India. I was willing maybe to skip the trip to India and stay in Crown Heights and study. I had the connection to yoga that I was satisfied with. I also had the connection to Martin Buber, who said that there is a universal faith. It's not just Judaism. We wrote the Rebbe. The Rebbe didn't say not to go. He didn't answer. Very unusual. Anyway, I got back. I was alive. I said, man, I'm going to try to straighten out my life. I'm not interested in drugs anymore. I had taken my last mushroom trip way before I had gone to India. It was a fantastic trip. I had seen the universal faith in that trip when I was in the mountains upstate. It was my last trip, and I didn't want to do any more tripping. I wanted to reach the universal faith without drugs. And I went to Lubavitch. In Lubavitch, they're teaching also the portions from the Zohar and from Kabbalah, but they're basically teaching Jews how to make a Jewish family. When I saw the Rebbe on the trip on that Friday, when I was there before Shabbos, I saw that Judaism has a connection to the Messiah. The Rebbe was actually the messianic figure in that synagogue. And the people, I saw the whole history of Judaism praying for the Messiah. It's in every generation. Only through the hope in the coming of the Messiah, the Jewish people survived the diaspora. So through studying in the Lubavitch Center, and I got married, I met someone who accepted me, even though I had been in the mental hospital after my trauma with typhoid fever, and she had problems. We both had problems. And we both straightened out our lives, went in the Jewish way, a constructive type of life. We made 7 children. I came to Israel. In Israel, I became to the city of Sfat, which is close nearby the city of Meron, and I became interested in the Meron is where the grave of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was. It was said that he is the author of the Zohar. There I started studying the Zohar. I studied in the Breslev school in Sfat the first year, and then I went back to the Lubavitch school. I studied the Zohar. I started reading from the Zohar. And I saw that the Zohar has a connection with the universal faith, which I felt this connection with the universal faith. It was not easy for me to disattach myself to the guru. I felt he was a great man. But at the same time, I felt that I had to. I had no other choice in order to study in the yeshiva in Lubavitch. And I didn't really speak about the guru and being connected to the guru, but it was always something that was important to me. Spiritual freedom was important. And even though I accepted Judaism, I could not accept to connect myself to God with blind faith. The way the Orthodox children who grow up in an Orthodox home, they connect themselves to God from the first day of their lives with blind faith in God. The Jews said, I will keep the mitzvahs without knowing why. I couldn't be able to reach that level of nullification because I was connected to the universal faith when I went into Judaism. And I maintained my connection to the universal faith as I studied in Lubavitch, wherever I went. I lived in the Jewish world, which was Orthodox, but at the same time, I was what's called Bal Tshuva. Bal Tshuva means coming from the outside in. I was from New Age coming into Old Age. That's where I am today. I am from New Age living in the Old Age. The New Age is emphasizes spiritual freedom. The Old Age emphasizes the followings of the law of God and devotion to God, service of God. King David said to his son Solomon, know the Lord your God and serve him with a full heart. Know the Lord your God is not in one day, but you could start serving God when you're young. Even before 13 years old, you're a man. You start doing the commandments. You begin to serve God. But it says with a full heart, to serve God with a full heart, you also need to know God. And that is the connection with the universal faith and spiritual freedom, which the Zohar says is, we say 2 times a day, the Shema Yisrael. That is the connection to spiritual freedom. That is connected to spiritual freedom. On the other side, in Jewish law, the connection to spiritual freedom only comes through studying the law. You have to complete the whole Talmud. You have to complete the whole code of Jewish law. 4 parts of that. You have to then begin to study the book of the Arizal, a special Kabbalah, Hasidism, Zohar. You may never reach the universal faith if you are Orthodox, because the universal faith conflicts with Orthodox. Universal faith says that there is a unity of the 3 religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and that there is that God is a unity, while the Orthodox religion says God is one. We don't know who he is. We don't consider that he's a unity. But I consider that God is a unity. And I know my place in Judaism, in the world, representing the universal faith, but I give respect to Torah scholars that religion is still important. Raising a family, a Jewish family, is still important for Jews. And I give everyone my blessing. Find God on the level that you're on. A Jew should begin to do the mitzvahs that, because in these mitzvahs these mitzvahs were given by Moses, who was a complete soul with the complete knowledge of the supernal worlds and the lower world. Even had knowledge of nature, that he in the Torah is mentioned which birds are kosher, which are not kosher. Moses had knowledge of the spiritual world, because it's written in the Torah. The four-letter name of God, which we learn represents four spiritual worlds. And in it is discussed what happened, how the world got so confusing. What happened? How did the world, God created the world, how did it end up with wars and all the other sufferings that we have? So Moses is my teacher. I believe that he's alive today, he's resurrected, and he's part of the universal faith. My teacher is also the Lubavitcher Rebbe, because he is teaching Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, and I am connected to Orthodox Judaism, a friend of Lubavitch, but I'm not a spokesman in Lubavitch, because I'm a spokesman for the universal faith. I'm a spokesman for the Zohar. In Lubavitch, it's not, the Zohar is important, but the Lubavitch goes according to it's the teachers of Lubavitch, and the Lubavitch Rebbe was the last teacher. The students believed that he was the Messiah in his generation. And when I saw him that day, when I was on that psilocybin trip, I saw it all in one glance. The whole Judaism, the Mashiach, and the Galus, the diaspora, everything in one vision. And then my second psilocybin trip, I saw universal faith in one vision. It says a person wants to come to change his life and purify himself, God will come to help him. And it's a miracle that I came through these traumas and conflicts, that I'm alive today, and we're living in a very, very difficult times with Corona, but there's hope for everyone. And if not, there's a share in the afterlife for those that live a good and kind and righteous life in this world. Shalom.